I'm joined today by Witold Zodkowski, a construction innovator and entrepreneur building a 3D printed construction startup in Poland. Welcome, Witold.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I wanted to discuss with you the technologies that you're bringing and the team that you built. Right now, where are you guys at? What are you printing?
Right now, we are printing samples. Yeah, we done objects which were buildings this year, and now we spent a lot of work on research and development. So most of our work right now is to print samples and check the quality, check the strength of the materials, check the shape. Is it what we wanted to have? And this is that kind of work that we are working with today.
Yeah, and it's the important work that I think every group starts off with when they're printing in a new region that they haven't discovered the parameters, how to get a good mix with the local materials available. I think every printing team can relate to the initial challenges in getting it buildable. Can you go into a little bit more detail about like what are the resources that you have readily available for you in Poland, and how are you having to fine tune your mix?
So first mix was developed by us. It was a blind test of the many parameters, because let's say we are mechanical engineers. We are not familiar with concrete, and we are not such people who has a big knowledge about it. So we try to get something, and luckily for us, after a couple of tests, we obtained a mixture which is printable, which is the most important. It wasn't very expensive, and it was, let's say, quite good. The shrinkage wasn't big, and other parameters were good. But let's say the mix of the concrete when you are mechanicals, it's not the thing that you want to do all the time. Yeah. So right now we are taking mostly the samples from the big concrete companies which are going into the market, and they want to check if their product is okay. Yeah? So we obtain some samples, we test it. So hopefully for us, we don't have to prepare our materials right now, and we can focus on the mechanical, on electrical, automatic part of the machine. Yeah?
And so far, do you think that the materials from these companies are okay? Or I know
Yeah,
there's lots of room for improvement, but are they
yeah,
printable, easy to work with?
they are okay. They are printable. Are they easy to work? Not every time. Yeah, I think there was a quite difference between the parts when you obtain one day you obtain something different which you obtain a couple of weeks later, and I think it's a result that they don't produce it in big volumes. Yeah, it's mostly the small production made just for us, because we are the only such company in Poland who can use it. So they are, let's say, the price is not satisfying right now. What I think should be done I think it doesn't involve only us, but I think every 3DCP company in Poland, that the materials must go under some value that it will be very cost efficient. Yeah, so that's the issue. And yeah, but I think according to the growth of the market, yeah, more companies are interested in that area, so let's say they spend more money on R&D, and I think maybe next year we will obtain materials which are printable, quite cheap, and easy to work. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, there's always that hope, and it could be tomorrow, it could be next year, it
Yeah,
could be 3 years from now. It's hard, nobody can predict the future, but the more people working on it, the better chance it has of being sooner, I think.
yes, yes. It depends. Let's say like in military, give me people, give me money, and I will get you the result. Yeah, it works in the same way. According to the resources that we have in Poland, I would say that I'm very glad that I had such team which I have right now. They are mostly, uh, except me and Michał, which is also the co-founder, all people in our company are under 30, so they are 25, 26, 27 years old. They are graduated from universities of technologies in Poland, well, mostly from Warsaw, but we have also a guy who is from Gdańsk. Uh, that's the big resource that we have in Poland, that we have well-educated engineers. Yeah, and I think when you compare it to other countries, the cost of labor is lower. Yeah, let's say when we compare to the US, I think it's a big difference. Yeah, and it's, I think, our advantage also.
Interesting. Because partially, if the cost of labor is cheaper, then the labor the robot replaces is less valuable.
Yeah, that's the truth. But in Poland, after 90s, we have this thing in the society that it's a shame to go not to study. Yeah, let people, the parents are telling you go study, you will have a better work. Yeah, and every mm, like in Poland, the amount of people who had a master of bachelor's degrees, let's say, I don't know, 70% of the people. So it's that the issue that um, people are overeducated to work on the construction, but we have a lot of people who are graduated from the studies which are not very search on the work market. Yeah, they don't earn a lot of money on. They have to change the scope of the work. It's not. It doesn't have anything with the common
Mhm.
what they have studied before. So
They're
that's
not
the
realizing the full potential of their education.
yeah, but let's say when we talk, and it's,
Yeah.
I think technical education right now, according to the word, is technical and IT. Yeah, is that and medicine? Yeah, of course. If you are a doctor, in every part of the work, you will get the work. In Poland, we have a lack of doctors, lack of nurses, also. Yeah, lack of engineers and lack of IT specialists. Yeah, I think in US, I know that some of my colleagues went to US. They work for big companies, and they won't come back. Yeah, because they earn a lot of money there. But I think the suction from the market for specialists is the same in every part of the world.
Yeah, and it's an interesting, in reality, even though the goal is to automate construction with this technology, it's not fully automated. So there's still two people, three people, four people working on the system. And it's so early, there's so much improvements needed in the material, in some of the systems, in the way that the process that they install roofing, electrical, plumbing. So all that stuff is a lot of labor. And in
Yes.
this stage, it's a lot of R&D. So having access to that R&D labor at a more reasonable price uh, could be an advantage, even though initially companies were looking to build in places the labor costs were high. Who knows how much research and development it will take, which is
Yes.
an expense, a labor expense.
nobody knows it right now, I think. But let's say when I compare our company to global competitors, yeah, I would say that we obtain the same level because we can print quite good quality walls, and we obtain it in very slow amount of the money, I think, which is our also advantage. Yeah, we don't have any big company behind of us, so we have to count every dollar. Yeah, I would say we don't have a dollar as a currency, but we have to count everything, and according small budget, we obtain the results that we can compare with big companies which who has a background in very big potentates. I'm not. Is it the word potentates in English? Let's say.
Potential, sure.
So we are a small company, and I think that we get the result like the biggest in the market also has. So I'm very happy from that.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, there's no specific reason that any one company is far and away much more advanced than other companies. And like Elon Musk said last week, a small motivated team can outpace a very big team that's just a little bit less motivated.
Yeah,
So
I
with
hope
all,
it
I mean, you
works.
got the printer, it's moving XYZ axis.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And what stage are you at? So the first printer you built, what are the
You,
dimensions?
okay, so right now we have two printers. One is designed to be carry on the truck. So it's according to Polish law, if you want to put something on the truck and you don't have to, and it's not a special, so you have to close the doors or make some legal operations. So we have the printer which can be carried on the truck, which is the small one, and we have modular design, which is made from aluminum cranes. And right now in our facility, the working area is 10 by 6 by 4 meters. Yeah, but it can be easily extended. You just have to add.
That's pretty large.
Yeah, it's pretty large, but we have the potential to be, let's say, the area could be something about 4 times larger. Yeah, of course, and when you do physically you can do it and extend it even more, but you have this problem with the stiffness. Yeah, of course, when the beam is very long, it will, you will have some displacements that you can't avoid. Yeah, so that's the issue. But I think when you can print something like 13 by 15 meters in one step, yeah, it's quite good. Then you can move the printer. Let's say the amount and this amount of the printer, it's one day. Yeah, so it's not very long.
What do you think is easier, small printing or big printing?
It depends. Yeah, when you print small things, you have to be very focused on the quality. Yeah, when you print some landscapes, more architecture, it's very important to make it perfect. Yeah, when you print a lot of material in one, when you print big objects, yeah, then your goal is to print as much as possible in the amount of the time. Yeah, so you have to print fast. So I would say that printing big objects is easier than small, except from the mechanical point of view. Yeah, when you take materials into the consideration, when you print something big, you have some issues that you don't meet with small objects. Let's say when you print 10 meters long wall, the shrinkage of the material can give you some cracks that you want to obtain on some flow. You know, this thing for the flowers, yeah. I remember. I
Sure,
forgot.
flower pot.
Flower pot. Thank you. Yeah, my English. You know, I have strong Polish English and strong accent, Slavic accent. So, and English, you know, it's not my
Don't worry
common
about it.
language. Yeah, but I'm trying hard. So believe me. Yeah. So when you print a flower pot, you don't have any issues with the shrinkage of the material. Yeah. When you print 10 meters long wall, the shrinkage can be an issue.
Hmm. And can that be overcome with expansion joints or less monolithic structures?
Yes, you can. So when you print, if I understood your question well, so if you print something long, maybe you should, you know, make some, let's say, dilatation. Yeah. So somehow compensate the shrinkage of the material. So maybe join two walls which are connected somehow, and they have they have the possibility to compensate the shrinkage.
And what was the timing that you started this company? You started bringing the team together, developing the first printer.
Yeah. We started in 2018, but the real work was started in 2019. The team which I have right now was completed in 2020, and mostly, yeah, we are in the same team. Just we are searching from some new people. New people are coming, but the route is the same.
So that was a very different time when you started that company to today. What was the initial vision for why it needed to be started?
Let's say
And has that evolved?
it was quite surprising for us because we also work on the university, and some of business angels came to us and has a questions to review some invention that he obtained. Is it possible or not? It was a quite good invention. The guy has a idea to print bricks and put the bricks to print bricks on the side. Yeah, but let's say it might be good, but if you want to do something, I say it has to be more similar for traditional FDM printing, 3D printing. So from bricks you won't obtain any shape. You have to somehow connect them, and maybe it's not most effective way to put buildings on site. Yeah. So from, let's say, the reviewers, we became the executors of the idea. Yeah. So we have to review some idea, and according in our work, it obtained that we have a, let's say, different idea how to do it. It wasn't our idea. Yeah. We just checked the what is going on the market. Yeah. And we let's say make analysis what is advantage. We check the advantages and disadvantages of both methods, and which we agreed that something similar to FDM is better. Yeah. So it was in 2018. Then we tried to find some funding. The first funding we got in 2019. From this money, we make the first printer, and we show that, okay, we can do it. Yeah, the printing is not a big issue for us. We can do it. Then we obtain a bigger money from National Center of Research in Poland, and it is a very interesting project because it depends 3D CP printing, but the main goal is to prepare machine which allows you to put reinforcement automatically into the concrete, because one of the barriers that 3D CP has right now is the fact that you don't put reinforcement automatically. Yeah, you have to. There is when you see the movies from the printing, you will see that the machine is putting concrete in layers, and then there is a guy who put a bar between the layers, and that's the it's not automation, yeah, of the work. So we have some
Hmm.
we have
Exactly.
a patent granted in Poland, in Europe, and also we are applying for the patent in US that is fully automatical reinforcement, which is quite similar to pultrusion of composite reinforcement bars. Yeah, if you know how composite reinforcement bars looks like, it is quite similar. We don't obtain something which is round. It's like most is a little bit, I would say, rectangular in cross section, but it bonds very well to the concrete, and the increase of the strength when you in bending test is good. It is what we expected. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I mean, the whole idea is that over time the process becomes fine-tuned and everything becomes automated. So it's great
Yes.
to hear you're able to further automate uh, other jobs like the reinforcement. Concrete alone has very weak tensile strength, so you need
Of
some
course.
kind of metal to get any kind of tensile strength in the building.
Yeah.
It's great to have the machine doing that. Um, Good.
Okay, so as you said, there are two kind of the bars. Yeah, you have the metal bars and composite bars. Yeah, it was it I would say it's quite difficult to put metal bar into the concrete from, and you know, when we print something we have very free, we have a freedom of the shape. Yeah, so metal bar steel bars are not the best, not the best solution. But when you produce a composite
Mhm.
bar on the side, you can modulate the shape of it, and it gives you quite huge possibilities.
Okay, so when you say composite, I've seen fiberglass uh, rebar, I've seen basalt rebar. What kind of material are you using for the composite?
You can use every kind of the fibers. You can use basil, carbon or fiber. When you look at the cost and cost efficiency ratio in building, the best one will be glass fibers, because of they are the cheapest one, and they give you good enough parameters to put it. Because as you said, the concrete is very good material when you uh, compress it, but very weak when you have a tensile in it. So you have to just to put something which increase the strength in tensile part. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And so, how much was the first grant that you got to do the small
The, f-
printer?
the first grant was, let's calculate to US. Yeah, so it was uh, a little bit less than 200,000. Yeah, it was the first one. The second one is, it was a little bit more than 1 million. So we made this R&D in less
So a
than
lot of money, but not a crazy amount,
no, I would say if you are
less than
working
your
in,
competitors.
and if especially if you it's the one factor, and especially if you are have a technical R&D, mechanical, it's you have to make some tests, buy some things, order some from from CNC, check it, and then you might test, and it works, but you are not satisfied. Yeah, another iteration. Yeah, after another iteration, it works better, but still, yeah, you have to improve something, and we have a huge amount of the parts on our workshop, which was used one time and was custom made, and they are not usable anymore. Yeah, so in technical issues, 1 million is like it's not enough, I would say. Yeah, R&D and
For
building
custom
machines.
machine parts and all the other
Yeah,
things, expenses. Yeah, the
automation,
material's expensive too. What, in your experience, what do you think the shelf life is like of the material?
what once again, shelf life.
The shelf life. So after you order the material, how long do you have to use it before it's maybe not the best to operate?
So you asking about how long I have to wait for the part, or
No, after you order the material, you get the concrete, dry concrete,
okay,
and
okay,
if you wait 1 year, it probably won't print very well,
yes, that's true.
right? So how long do you have?
Yeah, well, so let's say 3 months is guaranteed by the supplier. It should
Hmm.
last half of the year, yeah. But after the half of the year, the parameters are quite different, and when you are maybe you can use it, but uh, we're making mostly the tests, yeah. So let's say we don't want to have another parameter which is unknown by us, yeah. After a couple of months, the mixture is different than it was at the beginning, and it gives you some another unknown into the equation, yeah, when you test other parts. So you don't want it, yeah, in R&D. So let's say 3 months is a time that you should use your material. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And right now, to get started, you've done most of your printing in your warehouse. Do you think ultimately that'll be the strategy of printing in the warehouse and moving parts, or will you ever print on site?
Yeah, we also print on site. Yeah, we made the first on-site printed building in Poland. It was a technical building for the restaurant, but
Mm.
I think there will be in future there will be two ways. Yeah, one is take machine and print house or complex of the house in the infield, and the second one is precast. Yeah, uh, precast. Let's prefabrication. Yeah. Uh, let's
Hmm.
say according what the typical ways of building houses, the precast is the best one. Yeah, it's maybe it's not common when you are building single houses, but it's let's say it's also quite expensive, but you have the best quality, yeah, from precast. When you consider 3D CP, you can have the precasted houses, but you can precast it in very you have the freedom of the shape. You don't have to produce one type of the houses, yeah. from the form. Yeah, you can arrange the space and precast something different. Yeah, that's the one advantage. And the second thing, that the prefabrication facility is a huge amount of money to invest. Yeah, it's we work with such companies in Poland, and they have a very big area. The factory is awesome. Yeah, it's big, and they hire, let's say, hundreds of the people. Yeah, in one. And according to the cost, it's not efficient to travel with the prefabricated part very far because of the weight of the concrete. Yeah, the transport costs a lot of money. Yeah? So with 3D CP printer,
Hmm.
you can build small precast factory in field and supply local customers. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm checking out your website right now, and it seems like the most of the products you have listed uh, at the top are smaller stuff like benches and flower pots and like civil public use stuff for parks potentially.
Yeah,
Have you been able to sell those?
yeah, we saw a couple of those. Let's say it's from the small machine. It was, let's say, the best way to produce something like this. But now we have the big modular machine, and we want to go a level up. Yeah, let's say also we are
Mm.
designers. Yeah, we would like to sell machines to the customers, and which know the market, which know the needs of the customers, and our work, our focus will be on developing new technologies and improving what we have now. Yeah? We do it because
Very
for
nice.
now,
And so,
for
are you still in the R&D phase
yeah, of course, are finishing right now
for
this
now?
reinforcement. Yeah, so it works quite good, but not it's not a final product. Yeah, it needs amount of work to sell it, but it will be done. Mm, we also we also trying to find fundings for. We have a second patent approved in Europe, so the it the it's about technology to prepare supports. Yeah, when you are printing, doors, windows, you have
Hmm.
you
A
have
lentil.
oh, thank you. You have something which you are not able to print right now because it will collapse. Yeah, like in FDM printing. Yeah, you have to prepare some supports. Of course, printing supports from the concrete is not the best way because it's let's say one expensive. Then you have to remove it. Yeah, it makes when you remove the concrete, it's a waste that it's quite not ecological. Yeah, it's heavy. You will pay a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of money to recycle it. So we have we have a patent which allows us to print with PS polystyrene. Yeah. And the polystyrene is quite easy
Oh.
to melt before, and it can be recycled a couple of times. So also when you have this possibility to print the polystyrene, you can prepare the insulation on the site. Yeah, because right now you have to insulate buildings in traditional way by bond slabs of PS or XPS on the wall. Yeah.
Hmm. So, is the printer for sale yet?
Yeah. printer which print concrete walls is for sale. Sorry. And
Fail.
sell. And it's a modular design, so we are thinking in our design to be able to add more abilities to concrete printer when we develop. So the printer is ready to take also the reinforcement, and in future to take this supporting and insulation device on it.
One of the challenges for a lot of groups, especially on a larger system, like 10 meters by 6 meters is pretty large. Hose management can be a struggle reaching both corners of the print for a larger object. Oftentimes, you'll need to have a person making sure the hose isn't swinging into a print or a freshly printed wall. What's your hose management solution like?
Hose management, we put it into the same way like you put wires on the big structure. Yeah. Let me say check the proper word. Okay.
Sure.
It's cable guide. Yeah. So we use cable guides which are, let's say, bigger, and the hose is let's say you won't even see it on the printer. Yeah? It's very very aesthetically put it into a structure.
Pleasing, sure. That sounds dangerous though, because the hose can be the source of a lot of problems. So what if there's a burst?
Burst, that means it is from friction, yeah? Sorry.
From friction or pressure?
Let's say we don't have such issues. The hose was when we have troubles with the hose, it's because of the pumping system, I would say. Yeah, we have some issues with pumping the concrete.
That's
and
fair.
sometimes when you have the issue is you won't be able to fix it in a small amount of time, and sometimes just you have this it's a trouble, yeah, and concrete just hard in your hose, yeah. If you don't push it, yeah, from the pump, it will stay in the hose,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to just to change the hose for the new one. You cannot do it anything else, yeah. So it's the only solution, yeah, that you can do is to change the hose. And of course, if it's in cable guide, the change is harder, yeah, to done.
Mm-hmm. So since you mentioned the mixer pump system,
Yeah,
how do you like your mixer pump system? What's good about it? I don't think there's any perfect mixer pump system out there. So maybe we could talk about that for a bit.
yeah. What our mixture pump is not dedicated for concrete, let's say. Is our system is dedicated for plastering, yeah, something that you put on the walls to give them the structure, yeah, is plastering in English.
Yeah,
Yeah, so let's say
plaster.
plaster. So the difference between our concrete and plaster is like, let's say, earth and sky. Yeah. So our our concrete is stiff, thixotropic, sticky. Yeah,
Hmm.
the plaster is, let's say, powering. Yeah, it won't, if you take it, it won't. You can, okay, the concrete for 3DCP you can take into your hand, throw it in roof, and it won't fall. Yeah, it's such a thing which is quite difficult to pump. Yeah, and according that
Hmm.
we are not production company. We are production company of machines, not production of concrete objects. So our pump is let's say is used not very often, but we use it to R&D, but it's dedicated for plasters because it was cheap, yeah, and that's why we are using it. The
Hmm.
dedicated uh, pumps, which could be better, yeah. It's not I'm not so sure about it, but I hope they are better. Cost much more, yeah.
Well, they're certainly not perfect. I haven't seen a perfect mixing pump system yet, but uh, maybe it'll be better. I don't know what you're working with now. Or do you have a rotor stator?
Yeah, a rotor stator, and you are not able to put, gravel more than 2 millimeters. Yeah, right now. So it's not. Let's say gravel is a good thing when you are working with concrete. Yeah, it gives you a strength
Hmm.
and decrease the cost of the material. Yeah. So rotor
It
stator.
tends to not come out looking as nice though with the printed buildings.
Yeah, it doesn't look nice, but
The gravel ends up making the layers pretty rough.
that's true. That's true. But it depends how you design your nozzle. Yeah, if you put something which goes after the nozzle, yeah, it can smooth the gravel surface. Yeah, so it's better than I would say. Uh, but I agree with most of the people don't like it. Yeah, the gravel in 3DCP the same. It's not. But when you print home and let's say you have to put insulation on one side, yeah, you won't see it. You will see it only during the production, yeah, during the building. Then you won't see it. On the in the inside, you also will, probably will put some plaster, yeah, to make walls smooth and to make them smooth, yeah. So uh, it I won't say it's a issue. I think it's let's say opportunity for technology. When you will be able to easily put gravel into the mixture, you will decrease the costs. Yeah, you will improve the strength of the concrete, so you can use cheap, cheaper concrete also. Yeah. Uh, I think it's gravel in 3DCP. I think is a future also.
Hmm.
But pump is
So at
a
this
limitation.
stage, what do you guys need the most right now to go ahead?
No, no. What I need the most to
What do you need the most to grow
capital.
your company?
Yeah, yeah. I think we have good ideas. Mm, I think I built a quite good and motivated team, which they can solve the issues which are in this area. So we are searching for money, and I think we'll develop it. We'll go, we will present some good inventions in area of 3DCP, I think.
Yeah, that's a good plan. How much capital are you looking to raise at this point?
It depends. Yeah, it depends what we do. We are looking from 1 to 3 millions. Yeah, dollars. It's what we are what we are looking. Depends what we want to get, and it depends what you want to get, and it depends in what time you want to get it. Yeah, so that's our needs. I don't think it's very high amount of the capital. For me, as a person, it's a very very big capital. Yeah, but for the company, it's not such a big thing.
Yeah, I hear you. And so will that capital be raised from grants or individuals?
We are trying in every way. Yeah, we are applying for the grants, mostly from European Union and Polish government. We applied one in this month because there was some lack of the grants in this year, but they put some new this month, so we applied one. Let's say we will check it. We also speak with some private capitals, venture capitals about it. I would say it's always hard to get money. Yeah, even if you have idea, if you are working with something which is not very common right now. Yeah, the 3DCP is very small. It doesn't have 1% of the market. Yeah, right now. It's
Less than 1% of 1%.
Yeah. It's a small. Right now, it's considered to be very innovative, and it probably will grow. Every market researchers say that it will grow very fast. Yeah, but still, it will grow from the very small amount. But I think it's good to be at the beginning. Yeah, and develop it from the basis, and someday you will get the fruits of it. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. I believe that construction automation is really going to take over and be an increasing impact
Yeah,
on construction. It's so obvious, right?
let's say it's the biggest mm, part of the economy, global
Industry.
economy, industry, yeah, which is not automated. Yeah, you have the mechanization. Yeah, you have the machines which are working, but you don't have an automation here. Yeah, when you took something, let's say starting from the headphones and your mobile phone, your car, your washing machine, everything is made by robots. Yeah, construction is very labor cost. Yeah, it costs a lot of labor, and it's very dangerous also. Yeah, for the people. I read some science reports that on construction sites dies thousands of people every year. Yeah, it maybe don't involve such countries like Poland or US. Yeah, we have let's say safety in well-developed countries is very important. Yeah, and I think that in whole US maybe 100 people dies on the construction, maybe less. Yeah, I don't know exact numbers, but it's not a big number. Yeah,
I'd guess a lot more.
you think? Maybe, but so even in such country like US, if you say that a lot of more people dies on the construction, So you can imagine what happens in such countries which are poor, yeah, and don't have they don't put money into the safety of the workers, yeah. It could be thousands, yeah.
You were
So
only one magnitude off. There were 1,008 deaths in 2020. Pretty
1,080
close.
in US, yeah.
1,008. So that's pretty close. I mean, I would have guessed thousands, many thousands,
Mhm.
at
You
least. I
say,
don't know, but
you saying in one country, yeah, in US.
all of the United States.
Okay, okay. So it's quite impressive. I expected a lot less than 1,000. So you see how 1,000 people is a small village, yeah, who dies accidentally during the
Yeah,
construction.
it's a lot.
Yeah. So
And
I
it's
think,
25% of all of the fatalities at work.
oh, and that's a big number, I would say. So, the safety, maybe it's not easy to say that you will save some money. Yeah? It's not, you don't have this economical background for it, but it's also a very important factor that leads us to automation of the construction work. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Lil Yachty?
No, no.
No? He's a
What is it?
musician. He has a song that's very popular right now. It's about something took the walk to Poland. Is that familiar to you?
No, no. You
No.
can, if you can chat,
Forget about it.
okay.
The another thing recently in Poland, I know there was a missile or something from the
Mm,
Ukraine-Russia conflict that
yeah.
landed on
It,
your across your border. Uh,
oh, well,
that
let's say
wasn't close to Warsaw, was it?
no. Warsaw is, let's say, on the east side of the Poland,
It
but you
was.
have Warsaw. You have, I will check on the map. I think you have 200 or 300 kilometers to the border, and the missile was hit 5 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. So it was quite far from us, I would say. But well, when we heard about it first time, yeah, so Russia is, you know, is a dangerous country. Yeah, our history with Russia was always, always something wrong. Yeah, from thousands of the years we have the trouble with Russia. So let's say we have a very good, we are in very good place on the earth, yeah, because we are in the center of the Europe. Let's say we are between very two big economies, Germany and Russia. But when you took at the it was 200 kilometers from the border from Warsaw. I would say it could be even 300 kilometers from so. But let's back to the background. Let's say Russia was almost a threat for us, and it never stops. Yeah, so people still remember the Second War, and you know, Russia is a very big country. They have the nuclear weapon. They have everything. Yeah, Poland is 40 million country nation, so our army is, let's say, we're putting a lot of money in develop in our army. I think we are the only one country in NATO in Europe who meets the requirements of 2% of national national growth.
GDP.
Yeah, it should be put into the military, and we put a little bit more even because we know that we are afraid of Russia. Yeah? So when we heard about it,
Seems rightfully so. In the
when,
U.S., they reporting now that it was an accident.
yeah. Now it's reported that it was accident, and it was a Ukrainian missile who wanted to strike the Russian missile. Yeah, so let's say it's presented like accident and fatal accident. Yeah, so if it's true, we are hope it's true. So that's good for us. But this year is quite weak in Europe. Yeah, we have the inflation in Poland is very high. We have more than 20% inflation. US has also less than 10. Yeah, so it's also big inflation, but in Poland it's 3 times, 2 times bigger. So economy is
Mhm.
we also depend on energy from Russia. We depended on energy on Russia. We bought most of the oil from them and gas also. So we prepare some other ways to get the oil. We buy oil from US also right now, which is more expensive, but it's safer. Yeah, from Norway and from Africa. This year in Europe, according energy, is very weak. Yeah? And we have lack of energy. The energy is very expensive. On the west side of Europe, people are afraid that they won't be able to heat their houses during the winter. We are in not such bad position, but the costs are increasing 2 times, yeah, from last year's in Poland. We have the energy, but it's expensive. So I think the recent news that we are buying a nuclear power plant based on US technology, which is quite good. So let's say, but you will obtain this nuclear power plant in 10 years, 15 years. Yeah. So next years could be difficult in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Nuclear seems promising. A lot of people talk about nuclear. I was going to ask if it seems like something you're open to, but it sounds like, of course, why not?
Yeah. I I I I've seen the studies about it, and more than 80% of Poles are saying yes to nuclear power plant. So it's quite good, I think, because it's safety and cheap. Yeah, let's say
Mhm.
most of countries in Europe has power plants, nuclear power plants. Even Ukraine has it. Yeah, so now the technology is quite safe, I think, and in European Union, we have this very very strong eco attitude. Yeah, we want everything to be green, zero waste, and for our country, which is based on coal, we basically sleep on coal. Yeah, Poland is, I think, the
Mhm.
biggest producer and of very high quality of coal. We have if you check the Polish coal is like anthracite. Is that the word? Yeah, so it's basically anthracite. So the best kind of the coal. But in European Union, it's let's say on the blacklist to use coal, and our economy is, let's say, it's not good for our economy. Maybe it's good for our environment. But if you check how the pollution is produced all over the world, the European Union is only 8% of the global CO2 production. So let's say our coal is not such a big thing in when you compare it to the rest of the world. Yeah? states are,
Hmm.
let's say, the US think about their economy, and you are not such a green country. You are not going into the green like European Union in such a fast way. Yeah, you think to do it more more clever. I think. I think we need a green economy, but let's say you have to give some countries like us some time to switch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean these, of course, very complicated problems, especially energy. But it seems crazy to me when we have options to have it people not getting heat in their homes in the winter. If there is some
Yes.
solution, maybe it's whether the long term benefits aren't great, or maybe it takes a long time to get green solutions. Uh, there's no reason people should be freezing now.
Mm,
Uh, I don't know.
there,
Maybe that's
some
short sighted.
there are so countries in Europe that you have to put you are not allowed by law to have more than 90 degrees during the winter. I would check 90 degrees of Celsius. Sorry,
Seems reasonable.
so, to
That seems reasonable, right?
Fahrenheit. You have Fahrenheit in US, yeah?
Well, yeah, 90 is very hot.
No, no. Let
It's like a
me
sauna.
1 degree Celsius, 90 Celsius. Let's say for my wife, 90 she's freezing. Okay, 90 is 66 in Fahrenheit.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's not hot at all. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
no,
the highest temperature they're allowed is 66.
66 in Swiss.
Wow, that's crazy.
Let's say the in, according to my family, we would like to have 70, yeah, 70 Fahrenheit degrees in our home during the winter or even more. Yeah, so and let's say we can allow it right now, but what will be in couple months? Who knows? Yeah. We bought some energy from Ukraine for some time also because they have the nuclear power plants. Now Russia is striking into the energy infrastructure, into a gas infrastructure. They want to civilians to freeze, yeah, during the winter. Yeah. The winter in our part of the Europe is quite cold. You can have sometimes, it's not very often, but sometimes in Poland you have minus 20 Celsius, which is in Fahrenheit. Uh, Give me a second. My my
Close
Wi-Fi
to
is.
zero.
Uh, oh, 0 Fahrenheit. Yeah, 0 Fahrenheit is minus 18, minus 18 Celsius. So sometimes we have the less than 0 Fahrenheit. Yeah, during the winter. In freezer you have it's a temperature like in freezer. Yeah. So those people from Ukraine
Hmm.
probably they would try to get to the Poland for the winter at least. Otherwise they will freeze. Yeah. So for us it's a very, let's say
Yeah,
we
it's an
take
unfortunate time in
yeah,
2022.
yeah, it's like Middle Ages. Yeah. So we take them because what we can do. They came to us, but it's also it's a huge cost for our economy. But we must do it. Yeah, we won't let them freeze. Yeah, so we took from the beginning of the war were about 3 million people from the Ukraine, and during this winter we will see. Yeah, last winter Russia didn't destroy power plants and such things. Yeah, so they have heating. Even there's war, there was heating. Now we won't know
You
what
took
happened.
3 million people from Ukraine?
Yes, Yeah,
That's crazy for a country of 40 million to have 3 million
yeah.
visiting, supporting them.
Let's
That's
I
like 9-10% of your population.
let's say probably half of them went to other countries later, but I would check because we have something like PESEL number, which you want to stay in Poland, you have to obtain this PESEL number. Uh, I would check how many of them get this number. Not so much, not so much. So,
So a
well,
lot of them pass through.
yeah, yeah. But you can see it, and in let's say women are working in markets, yeah, like cashiers. There are some cities in Poland that have the 20% of Ukrainian people, like Wrocław. So, but it's, let's say for us it's good, yeah, because we have they came here and they want to work, yeah. So for our economy is also something, yeah, we spend a lot of money to have them, but they also are working and in Poland, and it gives something in back, yeah. So we can say it's we have an issue, yeah. It's an issue, but it's also an opportunity for us.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense. Seems like a good perspective. And
and
do you think
we
there's,
are we are doing something good, yeah, by the
yeah, go
way.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there a potential for rebuild to do work with the government or the military?
Of course, there is such a potential. I think when the war where where will be ended in Ukraine, maybe we don't. Nobody can say when, yeah. But this country is destroyed, yeah. When you see the broadcast from Ukraine, it's a disaster, yeah. What happened here? It's like salvage of the some white people, yeah. When you read what they are doing here, yeah, I want maybe let's not say about it. You can read it, but it's not such thing that civilized people do, yeah. It's a disaster for that people. Like, you know, animals kills people when they want to eat, yeah. They kill people for the fun, yeah. So it's and it's when you hear about it in somewhere in Africa, it doesn't affect you, and it it's not you say, yeah, it happened, yeah. If it's very near for you from you, you start to feel it, and it's quite different, yeah. And then you see, yeah, uh, it's it's bad, yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate your openness and ability to talk about these things. I don't get a lot of opportunities to talk to people from Poland, and so it's great to hear your perspective, even a little outside the 3D printed construction world, and just understand a little bit about what's happening in the world around you.
It's also it has influence on everything, also in 3DCP, yeah. The war is changing everything, yeah, in our part, yeah. Even some people are freezing in Western societies, yeah, because they don't have energy. The energy is expensive, so we are let's say poor, becoming poor, because you have to spend a lot of money to heat your flat, yeah. Uh, it's, yeah, let's say everyone wants it to end as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's good you guys are still working on your technologies, and you'll be able to continue advancing it. It's a leader in there's no other 3D printed construction companies in Poland, are there?
No. We are alone. Yeah, it's,
No, none.
let's say it's easier to be with somebody because you can make some pressure, some influence. Yeah, change the law, change the norms, change the administration. I think it could be easier to work with somebody. Right now we are alone, and we are together with few companies from the world. I think there is something, I'd say, less than 50, but they are present at all over. They're present all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's been a tremendous reaction probably from the Polish people. People always get excited when they see the first construction automation company in their country. What has their reaction been like in your experience?
Uh, some of them are excited. Some of them, let's say, building houses in Poland is very traditional way. I will do it with my father-in-law, and I will do it alone. Yeah. So a lot of people
Hmm.
build the houses alone. It's a good thing, I think. Yeah. So so they are not interested in that area, but uh, uh,
Fascinating.
yeah, a lot of people are very interested in future development, and they are asking they are asking about possibilities of building such houses in Poland, and I think next year will happen that we expected that year. Yeah, that we will build a couple of houses in our country and make this technology more visible.
Yeah, I know some of the best carpenters in the world come from Poland, and so maybe they get a little bit jealous or maybe find it a little bit offensive. Uh,
Well, I
if
think
that's an interesting dynamic that,
a lot of people from Poland are working in US, and I think they are quite. There is you have some maybe not politically corrected Polish jokes, which I think doesn't exactly meet what you get, because those people who came to US, they work hard on, let's say, on construction sites, and I think they give such a good thing for your economy, and also we miss them, yeah, because
yeah.
we want to have them here to develop our country, yeah. But they are in US, which is, I know, you have country of opportunities, yeah.
Yeah, it's always tricky. It's a shame to lose some of your talented people, but we're always happy to have them.
Yeah, but US is US doesn't lose talented people, because mostly talented people go to US, yeah. So it's you have a very good position
For
for,
now, maybe in the
yeah.
future they'll all go to China or something.
But let's say you have
Who
quite
knows?
good level, and uh, you are doing good work. Yeah, everyone wants to have the best people in such area in their country. Yeah, so you managed to do it, and just we can be jealous about it. Yeah, and do the same. Yeah, prepare the conditions that they will came to us. Build
Well,
new
I'm often
technologies.
jealous of all the construction innovation happening over in Europe. It tends to happen in Europe before America, just because your construction is more forward thinking and more innovative generally. Uh, so I'll make sure to
Maybe,
stop by Poland next time I'm in Europe, and hopefully you guys have a print going on.
I would like to invite you. Just, let's say, email me before, and we will prepare something. So
Is
you
there
you
anything we
say
didn't discuss today that we can talk about?
no? I think we had a very friendly conversation about couple topics, and we discussed it. Yeah. So I want to ask you. You said that you are
Anything else?
20% Polish. You said something like this.
Something like that. I don't know the exact number, but around there, many generations ago.
Okay, okay. So let's say uh, we had 60% of Polish people on this meeting. Yeah, I'm,
Yeah, sure. You're 100% Polish, or 890, 80?
when you are in Poland, you
Sure.
can't be sure about it. Yeah, because we have the mixture of the people. We are in center of the Europe, so you probably you can have something German, Russian. We also has a very big Jewish community in Poland for hundreds of the years before the Second War, of course. So you can't be sure about it, but let's say I'm I'm quite I'm high amount of the Pole in me, but I'm not sure it's 100%. Yeah, it cannot be.
Yeah, 4 years ago, I was doing apprentice carpentry, and I was working with a crew of four Polish guys, and it was two guys that spoke good English, two guys spoke almost no English, and I was just hanging out with them, banging nails and stuff, and it was just it was a cool experience. I got to know them pretty well over the time, and yeah, they were great to work with, really nice, and they were always willing to teach me stuff, and they were patient with me, so it's good.
Mhm. I hope my English was good enough that you were able to mix something useful for you.
Oh yeah,
I've tried, but you know.
one of my favorite parts of my job is getting to talk to people from around the world. Your English is great. I mean, some people need a translator on the call with them, so it's
I
it's great.
use, I'm not using
Wouldn't ask for anything more.
this language, every day. So I'm forgetting some words and have to find some synonyms. Then the construction of geometry is not the proper one. The tenses in English is, I would say I'm using 3 or 5 tenses, and you have the 15 tenses as I know. So maybe it's not the best one, but I hope it was easy to understood.
Yeah, no, everything was great. The communication was clear, and I think I understood everything. So yeah, this is just the first part of the story. You guys have a lot of building left to do, and hopefully in the future you'll be like $1 billion company, and we'll be able to look
Yeah,
back at our first call and
I
say,
hope
look where they
maybe
started from, and look how much they grew. So
yeah, maybe after this presentation is such well-known channel, my visibility will be bigger. Who knows? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, usually I would never expect one video to be huge, but any random video can. So
Yeah,
sometimes a video might get 100 views, 1,000 views, 1 million views. Uh, it's like a mystery box.
yeah, yeah. Internet is quite complicated thing, yeah. Especially the views and followers. Something I have a small 7-year-old son. And what he is watching on YouTube is waste of time. He watch how some people play games.
But it has
Go
way
play,
more views than my
go
videos.
play this game yourself, and don't waste time for watching someone. And I see they have the couple thousands, 100,000 of followers. Yeah, people who sing. It's yeah hard to understand. I'm too old.
Yeah, I have a hypothesis that as time goes on, all the library of information will be online. So the silly, entertaining stuff, it's funny now, it might go away, but the stuff that's scientific and focused on education might last a really long time. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you are right. I think because uh, my son he ran to learn to read from internet, yeah, to count from internet, yeah. But on
Wow.
YouTube, it's easier to get the songs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he was able to count in English before he was able to count in Polish. Yeah, so maybe we are saying this is a bad thing, but I would say some of you have the access to such a lot of information right now. Everything is easier. You can learn everything. You can learn everything almost from internet. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on the call today, and we'll certainly do this again soon. Try to get lots of footage of all your prints in the meantime,
Okay.
and maybe we can do some like small Instagram video or something. We
Okay.
can talk about that, but we'll stay in touch, and good luck on your construction journey.
Thank you. Thank you for invitation and see you.